Welcome to the History Talks. Today we'll be finishing our two-parter on Emperor Caligula. To watch our previous episode, click the eye icon in the top right of the screen. A man known as Meherdates, a Persian prince who had been exiled after losing a power struggle for the throne, arrived at the court of Caligula to ask for aid. Caligula, upon hearing this, expounded upon the grandeur of Rome and compared himself to Augustus, but made in particular sure to not compare himself to Tiberius. He, somewhat ironically, tried to offer some advice to Meherdates on how to be a just ruler and not a tyrant, before sending him to Parthia with an army led by the commander of the troops of Syria, Caius Cassius, who was known to drill his legions even in times when war seemed far away. Their army joined up with that of a Parthian client kingdom, achieved some success by capturing a few historically important cities in Mesopotamia, but were then baited by the Parthian emperor into attacking his forces over a river and were defeated. Now, at this time, Greek culture was spreading wildly over the Eastern Empire. For example, people in Egypt began writing in the Coptic script, which is a slight variation of the Greek alphabet, adapted to the form of Egyptian spoken at that time, also called Coptic. Greeks were settling in regions of Syria and Egypt, especially the major trading hub of Alexandria. Now, Israel, usually referred in those days as Judea, became a client kingdom of Rome under Augustus when he appointed Herod Antipas to Tetrarch of Judea. During the reign of Tiberius, Judea was put into a complicated situation where both had Herod as its tetrarch, but effectively its king. He minted his own coins for the region, for example. And it was considered under the authority of the Roman province of Syria and its governor, Pontius Pilate. After Herod Antipas's death, Judea was further integrated into the Roman Empire, especially with Caligula promoting the authority of Herod's pro-Roman grandson, Herod Agrippa. However, Caligula also did not have a great relationship with the Jews. It started with a crackdown in Alexandria on those not participating in the imperial cult on account of Jewish law being against idolatry. This eventually escalated to him commissioning the creation of a statue of him in the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, a similar one to the statue of himself in Rome we mentioned in our previous episode. Though the project to make the statue was cancelled when the ones who were supposed to carry out the orders heard of Caligula's death. Which, speaking of Caligula's death, Caligula's reign continued to be disliked by people in the empire, Roman and non-Roman alike, which may be the cause for many of the scandals and rumors of him being insane that we mentioned in our previous episode, especially considering Roman authors had a tendency to exaggerate the sexual degeneracy of governments that were otherwise poor in their rule. Eventually, Caligula was assassinated in 41 AD, very shortly after his ascension, all things considered. The assassination was headed by a soldier named Cassius Chaerea, but he also had a large number of allies. In fact, it is actually highly suspected that the Senate was also involved in the conspiracy. And Josephus at one point writes that it was possible that the Senate was attempting to reestablish the Republic with this move. Suetonius also adds that Caligula was killed in the same fashion as Julius Caesar, including the receipt of 30 stab wounds, though this note could be intended to be poetic rather than historical in nature, especially considering Caligula technically had the same birth name, Gaius Julius Caesar. Caligula's personal guard, made up of Germanic recruits, was able to kill some of the conspirators but not save the emperor. Part of the conspirators, working with the Senate, then tried to kill Caligula's next in line, which was his uncle, Tiberius Claudius Caesar Germanicus, better known just as Claudius. Claudius managed to escape the attack by fleeing into a catacomb, and with the support of the army, he re-entered the city of Rome, and he had himself declared to be the next emperor, using once again the support of both the army and the Praetorian Guard. And that concludes our episode on Caligula. Tune in next week to learn more about Claudius and his reign. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.